Joining me for a closer look at that market action is Rekopantsoe Nare from Anchor Capital. Rekopantsoe, thank you for your time and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Rutando. Thanks so much for having me, and hello to your viewers.
All right, it looks like it's bleak screens all around globally. Europe not looking too good, and South Africa, of course, not looking good either. Let's talk about what markets are possibly trying to take stock of today.
Yeah, so I think what we're basically seeing is mostly a risk-off sentiment in line with the fact that, kind of if you think of local markets, you had the delay within the announcement around the cabinet. As the saying goes, markets do not like uncertainty, and basically the further the delay, the more kind of that SA Inc. rally begins to lose steam. In offshore markets, basically what we're seeing a kind of a wait and see approach as far as sort of the Dow and the Nasdaq and the S&P as they await a very critical PCE inflation that's expected to be out tomorrow, and that's basically going to give the market just direction around the Fed and around interest rate cuts. I think the expectation that we walked into the year of 6 cuts, now down to 1. The expectation now of when do we see that 1 cut is what the market is beginning to price in, and what the market is beginning to look at that PCE inflation data that's expected out tomorrow to give the market some direction around that.
What is also interesting, I think, just trying to take stock of that PCE data and markets trying to maybe wait back and see how that may emerge. And of course, the fact that I think the Fed has been very clear that, we will see 1 cut this year. And so I'm wondering if markets still think that more data could change the position of the Fed and that there could be a more dovish stance from them.
Yeah, so no, I mean, even if you look at kind of that move from 6 rate cuts to 1 rate cut, as you said rightly, from the beginning, the Fed has been signaling to the market that, they at the beginning of the year said that, 3 rate cuts was appropriate. The market largely kind of ignoring that, continuing to run on the back of many other themes such as kind of AI and kind of the continued exuberance around the large cap tech players. But I think the Fed has been fairly disciplined around the way that it's signaled to the market. And now you are at a case where the market is beginning to price in what the Fed is saying. But as I said, as we look towards that PCE number that's expected out, that's going to definitely be another case of data dependency. You have had the bulk of Fed officials maintaining their hawkish stance. And even if you look at that PCE inflation number, the expectations that that's going to fall from 2.7% in April to 2.6% in May. Not a large move. So in other words, what we're saying is that, we are seeing inflation trending lower, but not trending lower as quickly as what the Fed needs to see and what the market wants to see. So that's where the caution comes in here, Nolitando.
Let's talk then about some company news today. Not the biggest day. Growth Point is out with some numbers there. So let's talk about that. They had a plan to optimize in South Africa, expand with their international portfolio there. How has it fared?
Yeah, no, Tando. So specifically what we got out today was sort of an investor update for the 9 months ended to 31st or ended to 31 March 2024, in which they kind of reiterated their guidance. I think, where you do see a bit of a red spot is around the expectation that we'll see a drop in the distributable income per share. That's expected to drop to around about 10 to 12%. So in other words, a 10 to 12% drop in that distributable income per share. They highlighted that, on the good side, they did highlight that the V&A waterfront, which is really the crown jewel of their assets, that continues to operate well, that continues to kind of fire on all cylinders, and the expectations that that's going to continue to perform well and above expectations on the back of kind of the increased tourism that we're seeing specifically in Cape Town. And then management has said that they expect their international assets and investments to continue to perform well and perform in line with guidance. It hasn't really moved the share price today. I think just before we went on, I checked, the share price is only up kind of 0.4%. So the market, largely kind of shrugging off that update, and the share price is up 4.3% year to date.
Before we move on from this one, the office. At some point, we were convinced that the office was dead. And then we thought, okay, maybe a hybrid model. But actually, lots of employers have gone on to call people back to the office full time. And we are seeing that actually reflected here with our growth point, saying that their office sentiment is gradually improving. So slow and steady here, maybe a growth node or maybe a recovery node now, Reko.
Yeah, so I can definitely agree with you. I mean, it is just to, there won't be any surprises right at the end of this. When you ask me what my stock pick is, my stock pick is actually going to be Growth Point. It is a stock that we've liked, kind of as far as the offshore, or as far as kind of in that real estate and development segment. We've liked the fact that their international office market, it was under pressure over the last year. That's seeming to now rebound off a very low base, as you said. The one part that you want to look at Growth Point is specifically around Growth Point Australia. That's been the significant, and that's going to be and continue to be a significant catalyst to watch as far as international and the international office space and the recovery around the international office space is concerned. So it is a company that we like. It's a company that we follow. It's a company that we hold within clients' portfolios. And and I think that offshore office space is beginning to recover.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. It's been a pleasure hearing from you, Rekopantsoe. That was your midday markets update with Anchor Capital's Rekopantsoe Nare.